Virtual reality, augmented reality, some technological statements that we have started to hear very frequently in recent years. One of the topics frequently brought up in various television programs and scientific journals is that virtual reality will change our lives. The technological change we are experiencing today will go beyond how will we achieve this. The technological device I am currently using is a type of glasses. This is a virtual reality. Glasses. There are many different types. There are ones in different sizes. There are different models. The second one is with glasses and a cable that connects to a computer. Some of them are also used through wireless connections while being used. So what is virtual reality, augmented reality, and where are they used? There are various areas of use. These can be in the field of health, especially to better understand the human internal organs, to teach more effectively, or to demonstrate what can be done before a surgery, or to practice in advance. It is possible to explain how an airplane or a tank works, and if there are technicians, to show them how to repair and maintain these using augmented or virtual reality glasses. There are applications in the entertainment sector as well. In the field of tourism, you can experience what you will encounter in a country beforehand using virtual reality or augmented reality technology, and later visit that country or location to experience the real reality. As I said, the reports indicate that the upcoming period will be the era of virtual reality and augmented reality. So how will this reflect in education? How can it be used in education? Again, many reports state that education will also be transformed by virtual reality and augmented reality. So how will this happen? By distributing such glasses to all our students, you need to connect them to a computer. A set of software is required. The price of such a device ranges from $3,000 to $5,000. When you connect this to a computer, it needs to be a powerful computer, which could cost a few $1,000s, meaning you would need to spend almost $5,000 to $6,000 per student. This does not seem very reasonable. On the other hand, there is augmented reality, which does not require a computer. Unlike virtual reality, it is a technology that has no wires. It does not need a computer because it has a computer built into it. When you put this on, you are actually in the same space. The glasses in front of me do not cut off my connection to the world. I can see outside, but at the same time, I can see a number of virtual objects projected onto the real world in this environment. But there is the same problem here as well. No matter how you look at it, there is an expense ranging from $3,000 to $5,000. Perhaps in the future, in the coming years, prices will drop even further, but they are still very, very expensive. Only some factories and large organizations can use such technology by acquiring 2 to 3 units. But it is not possible to distribute such technology to every student in a class with 20, 30 students in a school. So what will we do? Will we have to wait 15, 20 years to implement this in education? Or can we implement some applications today? Now we will try to find the answer to this. How can we apply virtual reality and augmented reality in education? We said that our problem is that the existing technology in our hands is very expensive. It seems that not everyone has the opportunity to have such a device accessible to them. There are no applications, and they cannot enter the classroom. Therefore, we need to find a solution that is not very expensive, not overly technological, and compatible with the technologies we use daily. In other words, we should not have to learn a completely new application or a completely new computer system. How can we integrate virtual reality into our classroom? How can we introduce virtual reality and augmented reality into the lives of our students? How can classroom applications be implemented? And how can students use these technologies outside of the classroom, even in their homes? When you assign a task, how can they implement this task in their classrooms using virtual reality or augmented reality? How can they bring it to life at home when they go back? Or when they go out on the street, visit a place in the city, or go to nature? How can they enrich their learning processes by using virtual reality and augmented reality? As I said, our key points here are that this technology should be affordable, compatible with the technologies we use in daily life, and accessible for free, or at a very low cost, if possible. Yes, what could the solutions be? Shall we ask you this question? What can we do? There is a fundamental technology that we use in our daily lives, or that many people use. In fact, we all use it. Our smartphones. I also have a smart interactive phone that I use. In our daily lives, this smartphone can now be used everywhere with various applications. We do our shopping through it. We check the weather from here. We communicate with our spouse, friends, and relatives from here. We take photos. We record videos. So can this technology we have be used for virtual reality and augmented reality? The answer is yes. Well, there are very expensive glasses. So what are we going to do about this? How will we acquire them? There is a solution for this as well. In fact, it is possible to bring virtual reality into our classrooms and homes with much cheaper and more affordable products and solutions. Is there something even cheaper? Or are there easier to use options? Yes, much, much cheaper and much more accessible. There are some products made by combining cardboard and a set of lenses. So, we have the hardware. We have the technology. We also have inexpensive and easily accessible things that we can use, especially on the virtual reality side. So how will we develop on this? How will we bring an application for virtual reality or augmented reality here? The main topic we will focus on in this training is actually this. We will present you with a number of software options, especially those that are free or easily accessible. And you will also carry out activities on how to use these in your classroom. One of the biggest fears of individuals without a background in software development or any formal training is how they will develop software or overcome technical problems when they enter a technological field. In this training, we actually aim to cover a wide range. This means you do not need to have advanced technical programming skills. There are a number of basic applications. How can you use them in your classroom? What can you do? We will go through these. However, we also aim to take your current situation a step further by providing you with a set of basic pre-written programs or examples that you can use, even if they are not very detailed. So, what applications are available? There are many materials related to virtual reality and augmented reality available on the internet. There are many sites, there are many applications. It is not possible for us to address each of them one by one or to go through each of them individually. However, we have tried to select applications that you can easily use, that can be beneficial in your lessons, and that may be useful for your students. The first of these is YouTube, which you all know very well. As you know, there are millions of videos on YouTube. But recently, these videos have started to transform into virtual reality and augmented reality videos. How can you access virtual reality videos? Through YouTube or a number of other sites using your smartphone. And how can you use them? Now let's try to do a short application related to this. What are we doing? What kind of application is there? If you go to YouTube on your smartphone, there is a virtual reality channel available. You can reach this by typing virtual reality in the search field on the search engine. Our recommendation is that if you will be visiting this place regularly or using it consistently, you can subscribe to this channel to watch the developments here or the new videos added. There is an augmented reality and virtual reality video prepared from Switzerland that I came across in this series. First, I choose that one. I am currently exploring a lush environment in a relevant valley in Switzerland with my mobile phone. One of the nice aspects is that when I turn around with my mobile phone, I get a 360-degree view. It is possible for me to see everywhere. Well, let's say I want to see this in more detail or experience it more fully. If you click on this video, you will see a small icon in one corner that resembles the glasses over here. You will see an icon that looks like this. If you press this icon, the image will turn into two images. The foundation of virtual reality is actually this. When we use these glasses, one of the images comes to one of our eyes and the other comes to the other eye, which creates a sense of depth perception for us. Therefore, you are faced with a situation that is more realistic, as if you were actually there. What are we doing to experience this? This we have in hand. Easily accessible, inexpensive, using the glasses. When I put on the glasses, I can turn around and completely experience it as if I am wandering in the Alps, in Switzerland. I can feel those sensations. There are many videos similar to this. They can be found on YouTube or other channels. Various virtual reality videos have started to be published in different places on the internet, as I mentioned. You can easily access them as well. We tried to experience it by watching a previously recorded video on YouTube. So how can we use this differently in our lessons? How can we implement applications that are a bit more specific and focused on the topics we cover in class? As I mentioned, there are many applications available on the internet related to this. One of the powerful applications that we will present to you as an example here is the application we call EON XR. By downloading this application from the market to your Android or iPhone, mobile phone, it is possible to access a wide variety of educational content for free. As I mentioned, there are other similar applications available on the internet. You can download them as well, but one of the applications we want you to experience is this one. So, how do we do it? You downloaded the Ion XR application from the market, and it came on your mobile phone. When you click on this, different categories appear. For example, there is a category called K-12, Secondary Education. This category includes educational materials. From preschool to 12th grade, there is also a category related to higher education. Or there are many different categories related to space engineering, aviation, energy, and health. Let's focus on those related to education, but it is also possible to use other categories in your lessons for educational purposes. I chose the K-12 field. Here, I encountered different categories again, such as biology, chemistry, history, geography, physics, and mathematics. For example, you are a science teacher and you want to conduct an application related to the stomach in your science class, or you want to introduce the stomach. In our science classes, as you know, our students study the stomach through two-dimensional books or a series of pictures. But here, there is a nice application, an application related to the stomach that everyone can access for free. When you click this, the application is being downloaded to your phone, your mobile phone. This lesson is loading. The application was previously installed, and the stomach appears in front of you. Now, if you look here, there are two options on the left side, AR and VR. AR stands for augmented reality. VR is a lot of fun. Users will be able to experience VR applications with these types of glasses or with these types of glasses and a mobile phone. Right now, I am using it like a simulation in normal mode. Of course, there is an explanation behind these lessons. You can utilize their visuals. There is a much more beautiful application related to AR, augmented reality, here. As soon as you select this option on your mobile phone, it displays a plus sign. It says to choose where to place the object. You see, and are working on here. So we will be doing a study related to the stomach. We will introduce the stomach, right? I am determining the place where the plus is related to this, and I am pressing the picture of the cube next to it. Now, one of the beautiful things is that even though there is no stomach in this room, in front of me, right here, when I hold this mobile phone inside this classroom and within this room, I can virtually bring a MIDI here in 3 dimensions. I can walk around it and explore it on my mobile phone. And by selecting the X-ray option from the choices below, I can see the inside, as if I have taken an X-ray of it. I can enlarge this. I am going to the side. I am coming back. I want to see it from a different angle. What is the outer layer like? And what is the inner layer like? Or, by selecting other options, I can choose the option under X-ray to divide the stomach into different parts. For example, I can take one side of the outer wall to one side and the other to the other side and examine them much more closely. The inner lining of the stomach is one of the features that particularly raises questions in people's minds. I can observe what is happening there and what has ended. as if a gigantic stomach has been brought into my classroom in this environment. By selecting the other options below and clicking on the option at the bottom, I can obtain more detailed information about it, and I can convert it as well. So what have we done here? Without disconnecting from the current physical environment, I use my mobile phone screen to bring this stomach into the space. In other words, I augmented reality. There is a physical reality in the space where I am located. I brought the topic I covered in class into this reality and increased the amount of reality in this environment by introducing the object I discussed in class. So what more can I do? As soon as I select one of the many Gelati VR virtual reality options that we see, again in the upper left above, I am switching to glasses mode. When I take this and place it inside my glasses, it feels as if I am directly interacting with the stomach in this environment. By using the same options we saw a moment ago, I can break this down with X-ray, see inside it, or separate different parts of the stomach to view the details in various locations. Here we see a small blue dot in the middle. Of course, since we have placed our phone inside these glasses, we no longer have the chance to touch it. You can also activate the options by moving the blue dot you see here over the relevant choices and waiting a few seconds. For example, I have hovered over the X-ray option, and now it has switched to X-ray mode. I can see the details of the stomach here. Or I chose the option to dissect the stomach and divide it into groups, and now the wall of the stomach has moved to one side and the interior has moved to the other side. I can still navigate around this with my glasses. To exit from here, it is also possible for me to select the other option and pause on it for a few seconds. It is possible to use lesson materials and resources related to virtual reality or augmented reality in various fields. For example, there can be science classes that examine the stomach, as well as geography or art-related classes that explore different places around the world. Again, through the same application, let's say Paris and the Notre Dame there. You know, it's one of the most famous places in Paris. And you want your students to experience that. This application contains materials prepared about different places, taken from various locations around the world. As I said, you are examining Notre Dame in Paris. What does the exterior of Notre Dame look like? What is around it? How does it appear from the outside? What is the interior like? What kind of structure has been built inside? It is possible to see all of these on this application. The person using the application can use it in different environments and in various modes. When it first opens, an augmented reality environment appears in front of the person. Right now, I am outside Notre Dame on the screen. I can explore this place in 360 degrees, moving around and advancing to different points. By pressing the arrow key on it, I can go to different locations and see how the river looks from there, what it is doing, or I can switch to different angles. However, for those who want to go beyond this and experience that reality, they can click on the VR, virtual reality, environment available on the screen. And this time, just like in the previous application, they can wear the glasses to experience it more realistically. At different points, one can feel as if they are exploring the environment, as if they are experiencing it without physically leaving the place they are in, going to Paris, and understanding Notre Dame and its details. As I mentioned, it was an application related to geography or art history, specifically about art. There are many very different applications. In addition to this application, there are various other applications available on the internet. You can also research and use them. However, as I mentioned, the application we have shown you is quite rich and offers different experiences that can be easily enjoyed by you and your students. What other applications are there? I won't go into too much detail about them, but, for example, there is Google's Street View application. Three-dimensional maps and three-dimensional environments have started to appear frequently on Google. If you experience these as well, it is also possible to visit different points around the world by trying out Google Street View or other applications. So how can I carry out applications myself with this virtual reality and augmented reality? The main part of our training will be focused on this. As I mentioned, there are various software applications available for creating virtual reality or augmented reality experiences on the internet.